This is a podcast designed for BCD people with BCD people. On this show, we're celebrating the diverse workplace cultures and connecting people across functions with our most confident self-colleagues. So come on, let's go have some fun as we feed our future learning about the business, each other, and life at BCD. I'd love to welcome Carolyn Room to the podcast. Welcome to Life at BCD, Carolyn.
Hi, Chica. Thank you. I'm so excited.
And we're excited to do life with you this week. Why don't you tell us who you are, what do you do, and your history at BCD Travel?
Of course. So hi, everyone. I'm Carolyn Room. I'm the Vice President for Entertainment based in the UK. And I look after our crazy division, which isn't always that crazy, but we'll go on to talk about that, I'm sure. I've been in the travel industry for coming up to 30 years now, which I can't
30?
quite believe. 30.
Wow.
I can't believe it, Chica, really. It just shows you time passes so quickly. And obviously over that time, it's certainly never been dull, lots of different roles. But ultimately, the past 15 of those have been with BCD, which
Fabulous.
is amazing. Yeah.
So we hear entertainment. What is that? Why don't you entertain us with what entertainment is?
Absolutely. Well, entertainment really has been something that was very much dear to the travel company historically, and they were serviced sort of in that company for about 30 years. So the division has grown with BCD Travel, and we've got a huge amount of creative clients that we service across BCD, not just in the UK, but globally, and especially in the US. So we've got a great sort of list of wonderful clients, from Netflix to Warner Media to Bloomberg to McCartney. I mean, we can go on. So we have around about £90 million worth of sales just in entertainments in the UK. So I have a great team. I've got about 75 people, which consists of sort of account management. We've got agents, we've got commercial managers, and alongside my partner in crime in the US, which is Patty McConnell, we look after the entertainment division, and it really is just a division that looks after any of our creative clients. Because and I guess the premise behind having sort of a separate division as such is that you do find within that collective group, obviously there's a lot of synergies with any travel is travel, but there's also some different needs, and it's very high touch, very hands-on, very high touch, very manual in a lot of the areas, especially in the film business. So we've worked out that really it does need a separate sort of set of eyes, and definitely sometimes a different set of skills, and it works wonderfully. And I've got an amazing team, very lucky.
We've just opened up a number of questions that I want to throw at you here, Carolyn. So the first time, when I think it was probably 3 years ago, somebody was referring to your division, the entertainment division, and they said something like white glove or VIP. Could you maybe explain that for some of us on the call or on the podcast that have no idea what that means?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, white glove and VIP, I mean, it's actually come a little bit full circle in travel. I think a lot of companies moved away from that piece, from having this VIP desk, really singling out individuals. Today, it's really important. So we actually have a VVIP desk. We've gone a step further, Chica.
Very.
We do. And within that team, we look after our owner, JVV, and his family, which is a really key area for us. Obviously, they're traveling hugely across the whole family. So we've got a team of 4 that look after our white glove services, and that is really to make sure we're giving them even more personal attention than we do normally, and we can extend our operating hours as well to really get their needs throughout the day and evening. And white glove is really just a case of just servicing our clients extra, especially in terms of it might be their check-in. It's really holding their hand along the way,
like a concierge almost. Everything they do. Yes,
ish. I mean, to me, concierge servicing is actually a different ball game. Concierge servicing, encompasses so much. So we do work with other companies as well, just to really get that support. So if we need, leisure travel, for example, obviously meet and greets where we're being, the individuals being met at the airport and transferred.
Wow.
Air charter, all those services that, we need support on, that sits within those parameters of those VIP and white glove servicing. So yeah, and it's actually an ever growing team, and it's an ever growing need. I'm seeing a lot more in client bids. What are our VIP servicing? How do we manage it? What do we do? So I think that's something as a company that it's really got a high focus, and also it's a good income stream as well. Yeah. So I think that's
when you mentioned entertainment, and I just think about what we see in the media about some of these celebrities that are walking around and getting the flashy Escalade cars and the private jets and all of this. Could you maybe tie that in what you're doing on the entertainment side of our business? Is that the type of entertainment people we're working with as well, where we've got to provide those services?
Yeah, I mean, we do. We have a bit of everything. We've got from the A-list, we look after the corporate side of entertainment travel. Everyone needs to get from A to B. But in terms of the talent management, which is probably everything you read in the press, and the divas, we do a huge amount of support for them across music touring and film. We look after rider management for them. So that's their list of sort of requests or demands or whatever we want to call it, that they would have for a performance. So we would make sure that all our suppliers, know what those artists are expecting when they get there. So that's a big part, of that service, and also supporting any of their needs for emotional pets. That's a big one. We have to look after their animals as well as them when they travel. So definitely our team at Pinewood they've had an amazing, I mean, there's lots of stories that can be told, and I'm sure at some point, there will be a book, not from me, but I think Mike should write one for sure. But yeah, we've had everything wild and wonderful. We even had a request for an emotional support peacock.
Hold my goldfish. I'm going to go get a Starbucks, please. My goodness.
So yeah, to be honest, we expect the unexpected, and actually that becomes the normal. So we very much we love all of the talent that we're working with, and actually it's unique. We appear in film credits on a lot of the movies, which is great.
Are you allowed to share maybe some of the movies for us culturally excited right now to hear that we're in the entertainment business? What are some of the bigger ones that we've worked on here in the past?
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, we work on the majority, probably 80% of a lot of the big movies. So I mean, we do the Bond collaborations. So we have the new one coming out very soon. I think the publicity tour has just finished. We look after the Star Wars
franchise,
Fast and Furious for NBC. Wow. A lot of the Disney ones.
So take us into that world just real quick. You said press. So you're not only just, when the movie's being filmed, you're not only working on that travel, it's also post-movie, the press, I guess, circuit that they've got to go on. You've got to take care of all of those needs as well.
Yeah, that's correct. That's the publicity side. So we would work on the pre-filming, which is called like the recce stage, where the teams would actually just go out. They would look to where they want to film, what makes sense. They would take a few of the key, the production and directors to these places. Is this where we want to go? That may change several times over the course of the early stages. It then gets greenlit, and then from that piece, you're in the whole production side. So that's the full-on production. And then, when the production closes, you've got the editing piece. So they will go through another whole raft of potentially reshoots. And then they would go on to the publicity tour, which is all the press junkets. And that's a huge business. That's phenomenal. I mean, it really is a sort of stream, a bit of a circus in terms of the talent having to just go from one place to the next to promote the film. Yeah, and then of course the film is out into the domain. Yeah, certainly it's great, and our team, certainly the film guys, in the studios. We have Pinewood Studios, we have Leavesden Studios, which is part of the Warner Brother set. These guys really do live and breathe all the elements of creating that film. So they feel really proud because they've been part of moving everything, not just the artists. It might even be, the equipment to get it to the location. So, and it really is a massive job, and there's a lot of hard work involved in that. So yeah, they're definitely proud of what they do. And that's great. And they're really, really true professionals in what they do as well.
So we've talked about the artists of song. We've talked about the film. Is there anything else or any other divisions within the entertainment function that you handle?
Yeah, so we do within the entertainment. We said we name it anything creative, really. So that could be media. We look after Netflix within that setup, which is technically, they would say, a tech company.
Right.
That would sit under entertainments, as well as advertising and music touring. So we do the music labels, but we also do the touring, and we have a separate division that support this. That really is the artists going out, on the road and moving sort of larger groups of individuals and really managing everything that goes with those artists. So that's a big business for us, and that's an area of real growth and opportunity as well.
Sensational. And so what's on the horizon then that you can share? What's your excitement as the vice president over this and looking forward into the next decade that we're starting very soon?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it really is a really exciting time for us in entertainment. There is massive opportunity. The sort of the smaller agencies are shrinking a little bit. I mean, we've got a lot of unique selling points as BCD Entertainment Travel. We're privately owned. We're a great option for a lot of those companies that don't want to sort of just be pushed from pillar to post. So I think the landscape is looking really good. I think we've got a great opportunity with more music artists to come on board. We've got some great film clients that we're hoping to work with. We're also looking at some of the streaming channels in greater depth. So, you've got Hulu, you've got Netflix, you've got Amazon, Apple are doing all streaming. So I think that's a massive growth area for us. And I guess the challenge really for the next year or two is making sure we've got the right resources. We've got the right talent, within our company to service these individuals and really just grow with our customer base as well. And I think we're all geared towards that. We're really excited about it, and we're really aligned between our teams as well. So, which is amazing, which is all we can hope for. So yeah, I guess my challenge is just keeping up, just keeping it all, breathing, get an emotional support zoo. And I said, just actually enjoying it as well, because it is a great industry. It's very creative, and I love the pace of it. And I think even though it can be very bonkers a lot of the time, it's also a pleasure to be part of it.
Too. So, Carolyn, I've heard you mention Pinewood. I've heard you mention the US here. Is there anything in APAC, or is it just strictly the UK and the US that you're primarily working in?
No, that's a really good question, Chika. And actually, yes, APAC features hugely because it is a hub for entertainments as well. We've got Singapore, so we work with our Singapore team where we service Netflix as well as some other entertainment clients. And that's a massive growth area for us. So we're trying to look at hubs for entertainment because it makes sense just to group in areas. So we've said that I think with Asia is massive, New York, LA, London, and it can grow even further. So yeah, Asia is a huge market for us, and we want to just build that and encourage more growth for the team there.
And a side question to that too, Carolyn, because as you were speaking, you were saying entertainment. I kind of almost felt like it was almost like a meetings and events type feel to it as well, where you're providing on not only just the travel, but catering towards their meetings and their events. Is there a real division there, or do you find that you're working hand in hand with them as well?
No, I mean, I would say it is very separate. I think there is a misconception with some of our see a movement of people of a large group is almost aligned to M&E, but we never really look at it like that because it is so manual and it is so high touch. So even though you might have a group of people, everyone is so individual in what they need. and what their requirements are for that particular flight. So we tend to treat it very differently, but ultimately, it is travel, it's moving people around, whether it's talent, whether it's, the crew, whether it's lugging equipment. We're just facilitators, but I think we very much treat entertainments that it is, the requests come in, they're a bit crazy. We never know what's coming, and we never assume anything either. And our suppliers support that hugely. So I think they would treat it differently from M&E as well if you talk to any of our key suppliers and how we work together.
In fact, Carolyn, do you have a moment? You don't have to mention the person's name or the item. Have you got a celebrity moment that you've been involved with through the work that you do, where you're like, oh my gosh, you'll never believe I went and visited this show that happened, and then this happened. This is happening behind the scenes, but I can't tell you who it was.
Well, I think, to be perfectly honest, everyone's people, we're all people, we're all individuals, we're all, stars in our own right. And I think actually the more you're dealing with these individuals, the less, you get starstruck as such. But no, not personally. It's been lovely helping some of the artists, to get them through some difficult situations. We helped Sam Smith, who's a big singer in the UK, get some documentation on his pet that he was trying to get through, which he was so thrilled about, and we managed to help him through that. So we don't name names. We're very,
even though you just did.
Even though I did on that one, but that was just a one-off. That was just a little taster. No, it's been amazing, and I said. Yeah, the one that I do love, though, was being requested to fill up a bath with Fiji water. We had to get the hotel to get a whole stash of Fiji water for an artist. And without saying his name, I think you can guess it, but we made it a mission possible, if that gives it away. Wow. So, yes, so I think that was probably my favourite. But there's some great people out there. Equally, there are, some very demanding characters, but that's part of life.
Well, thank you. And speaking of life, thank you for sharing your life within the life of the entertainment world at BCD. Carolyn, if I have your permission, I'd love to just ask you a couple of quick questions. You said 30 years. Why have you stuck around in this industry for such a long time? What is it that keeps bringing you up and waking you up every morning?
But it's great. We've got the apprentices now as well in the UK. It's 23. We've just taken 2 on in entertainments. And I think that is going to be huge generally for us as an industry. We've got to keep that stream going. And as you said, why would anyone, what's kept us around for so long? But, we're not going to be here forever.
Right.
Travel, I think, is more than just, a job. It really is a bit of the DNA. I think if you talk to anybody in the travel industry and they've left, they always miss it. When you're in it, you can't quite believe how, because it's so changeable. And I think that's probably the big thing. There's a lot of opportunity if you make it. If you wait around for opportunity to come to you, that doesn't always happen. So I think you really do have to, look at how, if you want to progress, you want to succeed, you've got to look at the ways that are going to help you do that. And that might be side steps at some point. And I think I've done that. I think over my career, I've looked after the banking industry for a very long time, and that gave me, a huge skill set that, just dealing with those types of individuals and the pace they work at. So, I think keep moving, keep looking for opportunity, and travel is exciting. I think it's a passion more than an industry.
Carolyn Room, thank you for being with us this week and sharing your life at BCD. Appreciate you being here.
Pleasure. Thanks, Chica. I've really enjoyed it.